Hi everyone, and welcome to our YouTube page. I pray and hope that this message speaks to your heart and encourage you throughout your daily walk with Christ.
In John chapter 9, verse 1 is what it says. Now as Jesus passed by, he saw a man who was blind, somebody say from birth.
From birth.
And Jesus and his disciples asked him, saying, Rabbi, who sinned this man or his parents, that he was born blind? Jesus answered, neither. He said there's a third option. Y'all only got two. There's a third option. Neither his parents or him sinned, but that the works of God should be revealed in him. I'm going to just give y'all a heads up. This verse going to mess some of y'all. I'm just let you know in advance. Some of y'all, I'm hoping that all of y'all will be able to handle this, but some of y'all might not be able to handle this morning. He said that neither his parents sinned, he didn't sin, but that the works of God should be revealed in him. So part of this miracle that happened, and some of y'all are probably already familiar with this verse, you know that he finds this blind man. He's been blind since birth, right? And then this man is healed. And then Pharisees, Sadducees, they come and they say, hey, you must be a sinner because you're trying to heal people on the Sabbath. All right, we know how the whole story goes. But sometimes it's hard for us to see the depth of this scripture. It's hard for us to appreciate the miracle because we don't understand the purpose for why he did it. Some of us see the miracle and we're like, well, God healed the blind man since birth, and so I can be healed since birth. But it's not even really about him getting his natural sight back. There's something deeper in here that God wants us to see. He says that the purpose that he was made blind was for a greater purpose of my glory being revealed in him. But you can't really appreciate that until you understand Romans 8. This is the only other one I go to. We're not going to flip through 10 verses today, but I do want y'all to see this. In Romans chapter 8, this is what it says in Romans chapter 8, verse 18. This is what it says in Romans chapter 8. We got to put all these things in sequence. Last week we talked about Genesis and about the creation, and our purpose for being created was, hey, I created all these animals, all these fowls of the air, all these birds, all the water, all of the land. Now I need somebody to manage it. Let me create man. Man was created to manage. Man manages, right? Man sinned. He got outside of what was supposed to be his job. So now man is no longer managing creation, right? Years and years and years go by, and now we're in 2020. And man has fallen away because of sin, and now we're no longer operating in what God spoke to us when we were spirit. Y'all just try to follow me on this. This is what it says in Romans chapter 8. Hopefully this will make sense. Putting everything in perspective. Romans chapter 8, verse 18. It's for I consider the sufferings of this present time not worthy to be compared to the glory which shall be revealed in us. Revealed in us. This is a parallel to the blind man, saying I was born blind. But the glory that is to come is considerably nothing compared to the glory that's going to be revealed in me. Before I go any further in there, let me stop right there. Because for some of us, we feel like, because it's been this way all this time, God's going to help me. And this definitely could not be God allowing me to go through this. Just like they said, who sinned? Right? You must have done something wrong for them to lay you off from your job. Right? You must have done something wrong in order for that person to cuss you out, for that person to flick you off while you're driving down. You must have done something, right? Because it just doesn't make sense that something bad would happen to a good person, right? It doesn't make sense that something bad would happen to somebody who's trying to live a holy lifestyle, right? And so you're trying to find these parallels, okay, it just doesn't make sense. And so as long as I can't make sense of this, the only thing that I can chalk it up to is that I must be wrong. You ever ask God those questions like, okay, God, what do I need to fix? Am I doing something wrong? Why is it that my money is not right? Why is it that I keep on like barely meeting the deadline? Why is it that I don't make enough to pay my bills? Why is it that I'm not healed over this thing that I've been asking and praying about for years? And so since God hasn't done it, maybe something is wrong with me. And he's saying, but no, I allowed it for a purpose, for my glory to be revealed in you. This is what it says right here. Like I said, over time, man was created to manage. We've gotten away, right? We were created in spirit. This was the role that he gave us, and we got away from it. This is what it says in verse 19. For the earnest expectation of creation eagerly waits for the revealing of the sons of God. For creation was subjected to futility, not willingly, but because of him who subjected it in hope. What it's basically saying was, creation was subject to us. We should have been able to speak to our own bodies and say, body be healed, now let's move on. But because we sinned, Adam fell short, was pushed out of the garden, now we're subject to different ailments, to different diseases. Now we're subject to that, right? And so that's why now man can be born blind. I've had these real questions in my mind for years, like, God, this is not fair. How can you have an innocent child who has done nothing and be born blind, be born disabled, be born dysfunctional, right? These children that are on life support until they're 3 years old, what did they do to deserve this? And we would say it's unfair because it doesn't make sense. This is why I'm going to go off in theology a little bit. It doesn't make sense. And what he's saying in John chapter 9 is, I allowed it for my glory to be revealed in him. But that don't sit right with us, though. That don't feel good to us because, wait, what do you mean, God? So, and further in the verse, they went to the parents, and the parents said, well, he's of age as him. So it lets me know that he must have been old enough where he could answer for himself, to where he understands his condition. Whatever that age was. Let's just say he was 18. All right, he's old enough, he's legal, go talk to him. Right? You've been dealing with this condition for 18 years. You've had questions for 18 years. So you mean to tell me that if God is who he says he is, wouldn't he have done this thing already? Wouldn't he have cured me? That person I was praying for, that was in the hospital, that I was believing for, and the whole church prayed, and the elders and the pastor, they laid hands, and that person still died? God, what happened? What's going on? All of these questions, and because it doesn't make sense. What he's saying in John chapter 9 is, I allowed it for my glory to be revealed in him. Wow. I ain't gonna lie, no, that's tough. That's tough. That's hard for me to... That's a hard pill for me to swallow. Because I've always been taught that God is merciful. God is love. God is righteous. God will never leave us or forsake us. But God, how I feel right now, I feel like you left me. I feel like you've forsaken me. I feel like you turned your back on me. I feel like I'm coming to church and giving you my everything, but then I'm going home feeling like, what's it even worth? Right? I ain't talking to y'all, I'm talking to me. Since y'all ain't gonna say that to me. But I already know it's hit, that's why y'all ain't saying that. He's just kind of letting it settle in. That's tough for me to think that you would allow me to go through this for years. All right, God, a couple days, I can handle. I can handle a couple days. If I can see the light at the tunnel, I know that it's getting better, I can manage this for a few days. A few weeks, maybe even. But God, it's been 3 years. It's been 5 years. It's been 15 years. It's been 18 years. And this situation has not changed. And now you want to tell me that you've allowed for your glory to be revealed in me? I don't want to hear no spiritual cliches. I don't want to hear no church people telling me, oh, it's going to get better. Just hang in there. I want to know what's about to happen right now. What do you want to do about it right now? What y'all don't want to hear is that's your flesh talking. That's your body. You were created spirit. Your spirit man knows no boundaries. Your spirit man knows no limitations. Your spirit man knows no time. Your spirit man is like, I was built for this. Right. Yes. Y'all ain't hearing me this morning. Your spirit man is like, I can handle this. Your spirit man is like, however long it takes, that's what I'm going to do until God comes through. But your flesh is like, oh, I can't take this. Oh, this don't feel good. I don't like it. Let's go back to John chapter 9 real quick. Go back to John chapter 9 while we're talking about the flesh and what you don't like. This is what it says in, let's see, it says, so my glory can be revealed in verse 3. John chapter 9 verse 4, this is what it says, I must do the work of him who sent me while it is day. The night is coming when no man can work. As long as I'm in the world, I'm the light of the world. He's like, Jesus, that's great. That's awesome. I've heard that preached before. But then, after all of the spiritual rhetoric, after all the preaching, is done, after everybody said all of their cliches and none of that stuff means anything anymore, all right, I know that you're the light of the world, Jesus, but what are we going to do about this? He said, when he had said these things, what does your Bible say again after that?
Verse 6.
Verse 6. When he had said these things, and then what does yours say after that? Anybody?
I said that.
I was listening to a Disney song with Taylor last week. It was from Beauty and the Beast, and I've never heard this part of the song. It was a song about Gaston. It was like, no one fights like Gaston, no one does like Gaston. I don't know all the words, but it goes like that. And then it gets to a part when he's like, in a spitting match, nobody spits like Gaston. And then he's like, I'm especially good at expectorating. What does expectorating mean? I have no idea. I have no clue. So I looked it up, and it means literally, that's exactly what it means. That's exactly what Jesus did. Now that's something that if I wouldn't have told y'all came to church and I would have said something real deep and spiritual, and I would have said, DJ, I need you to come up here. The Spirit of the Lord is on me right now, and I need to pray over you. He's telling me that he wants me to expectorate, right? And he would be like, okay, I receive it. Until he sees me pop that loogie and put it in the dirt. Then it's like, wait a minute, right? Pastor, I was with you in the spirit until.
That's good. All
right, Jesus. Just like there's a passage in the story where he tells the man to go wash in the river, and the man's like, hold up, Jesus, but I was expecting you to tell me something deep. I was expecting you to tell me something spiritual. I was expecting you to call me up in front of the congregation and to lift my hands for you to get your oil for you to anoint me, but you gave me a simple instruction to just go wash in the water. All right, God, Jesus, why don't you just lay hands on me? I've seen you do it in others, and you can do it in me. I've seen you do it before, so you can do it again. So this is the way that I saw it done, so I believe you want to do it the same exact way. He spit in the dirt and put it in the man's eyes. Then he told him to go wash.
Wow.
Your response will be, I don't have to ask what your response would be. Your response will be, girl, couldn't be me. I wish he would. I wish Pastor would call me up in front of the church and spit in my face. I wish he would. Later in the scripture, it goes on to say that the Pharisees and Sadducees, that they rebuked Jesus because it was the Sabbath. Because they allowed their pride, their arrogance, their knowledge, their understanding to get in the way of a miracle that God was trying to do. You're expecting it to come in a certain way because it doesn't come in the form and the fashion and the timing that you was expecting, you rejected. All right, God, but you do understand that my bill is due on Friday. You do understand that it's 11:30 p.m. and I have 30 minutes to submit this payment online. Guys, you got 30 minutes to come through. You got 30 minutes. Midnight comes. Midnight goes. See, God, I thought you was a man of your word. Supposed to be an honest God. Told me you would always provide for my needs. Because we boxed them in to how we think that he's supposed to act and he's supposed to, I got God figured out. Every time I call, he come running. Me and God, we got a relationship. We tight like that. Every time I say something, he act. He respond. If I go out and I make up my mind that I'm going to do something, God going to show up. He going to do it. But today, God's like, nah, I'm going to do it a little bit different. Today I need to spit in your eye. I need to hawk you back. Y'all know how much spit it takes to create mud? Think about it. Don't get too deep to where you gloss over this stuff. Oh, let me add something else. I don't know about y'all Bible, maybe y'all might be reading a different translation, but in mine, nowhere in here does it say that he asked Jesus to do this miracle. Nah, this wasn't that situation. This wasn't the blind man sitting on the roadside and Jesus coming through the crowd and he cried out, Jesus of Nazareth, people tried to quiet him down. He said, hey, bring the man to me. He said, hey, what do you want? Hey, I want to see. This wasn't that situation. It says that Jesus was passing by and there was a man sitting, and then Jesus stopped and the disciples asked. Nowhere in there did the man ask to see. God, I didn't ask for this. I didn't ask for this situation. I didn't ask you to put me in this. So why is it that you're allowing me? Why would you do this? Didn't ask for this. But at some point, in your frustration with where you are, you'll understand that in order for me to have more, I'm going to have to go beyond my pride, beyond my arrogance, beyond my thoughts, beyond how I feel about however God wants to do it. Because if God decides that He wants to show up after midnight, and now I got to pay a late fee, but He wants to come a week later and give me much more than what I would have gotten last week, and so now I get to not only pay for what I owed, but now I need to cover all the expenses that I have as a result of the fees, but now I have much more than what I would have had before because God decided to do it a totally different way. Because if God shows up on time every single time, what'd you say? So you think that's how He's going to do it every single time? Sometimes God throws a curveball. 18 years in this condition. 18 years in this condition. 18 years in this condition. You know why He didn't ask to see? Same reason some of y'all stopped asking God to come and deliver you on things that you've been asking for years. You know what? I'm just tired of praying about it. I'm tired of getting my hopes up about it. God, I've been believing for this thing, and God, you know. So I'm not going to keep on asking for it because I don't want to get my hopes up. Because if I get my hopes up and I get let down again, I don't think I can get back up from this one. I already put myself out there too many times. If I try to love again and I get hurt again, I don't think I'll be able to recover from this one. I've tried it too many times before. I think He didn't ask because He had gotten comfortable in this situation. He had come to the realization that this is who I am and that this is all I will be for the rest of my life. I was watching a video about a blind man. There's a blind man on YouTube that kind of tells his story where he gives kind of his everyday life of how he handles being blind. Everyday questions and thoughts and things that we probably don't necessarily think about. Things like, what can you see as a blind man? What do you see? For us that see, we think, oh, well, he sees black. He sees just pure black, because when I close my eyes, all I see is everything black. But it was interesting, because this man's been blind since he was born, and he's probably about 50 years old or so. It's been like this his whole life. And he answers by saying, no, we don't see black, but then again, I can't tell you because I don't know what black is.
Wow.
I'm not sure. You can say that black is dark, you can say that white is light, but I really don't have any judgment or any parameters or any box or idea to put that in because I've never seen it, so I really don't know. I'm not sure. All I know is it's just nothing. What do you mean there's nothing? Nothing? When I close my eyes, like, I still have a visual. So do you not have visions? Can you not visualize? You know, because when we close our eyes, even when we close them, you can still see me standing on this podium. But the only reason that you can see me standing on the podium with your eyes closed is because you saw it. But if you never saw it, you can't imagine it. Yeah. So the way that he put it was like, it's almost like seeing through your elbow. So just as your elbows are rested right now, imagine seeing through your elbow. It's very hard to imagine because you don't have eyes there. Right. And so you don't see it. So when you move it around, you can still be looking at a fixed object, but you're not seeing anything back there. It's not black, it's not white, I'm not seeing colors, I'm not seeing anything. Do you see colors? Do you know what colors are? No, I have no idea. He said that his favorite color is purple. I don't know why it's purple, but it's a color that a lot of people don't like, and so that's why I like it. It's a lot of natural things that we take for granted that he doesn't comprehend or that he doesn't understand. It's been this way his entire life. This is all he knows. So he's gotten accustomed to living a certain way. And I heard this blind man say on this video, and somebody asked him, so here's the big question. If technology came out for you to be able to see, would you receive it? Your answer would be what?
Yes.
Of course. Without question. It wouldn't even be a second thought. How much do I have to pay? When do I have to be there?
Right.
What do you want me to do? Right? You can spit in the ground and put it on my eyes? Oh, sure, that's it. I don't gotta pay nothing. This is free. Do whatever you need to do. I want it. Right? This is what this man said. He said, honestly, no. I wouldn't want to see. This was his explanation. He said, I wouldn't want to see because I'm comfortable. Y'all see where I'm going with this? I'm comfortable. I know how to navigate life exactly. I know where everything is.
Right.
I know how to get up the street. I know how to move around. But guess what happens if I receive my sight? I don't understand depth perception. Right? So when I see the stage and I see the ground, I've never seen that before. I know my cave and I know I can touch it, I can reach down, but I don't understand depth perception. He's basically a child all over again. So it's more dangerous for him to receive his sight because then he can't perceive also a car is coming only 15 miles an hour, but I don't understand that this car is going to continue to get closer. So maybe I have enough time to step out across the street. I don't know if I have time or not because I've never seen this before. I don't know if I'll get hit. If I see an object coming at me, I don't know to move because I don't know that it's going to hit me. Right? This seems ridiculous to y'all. This seems like asinine. This is like, no, that's reflex. You don't have reflex. Right? So it's much easier for me to stay comfortable than for me to embrace who I really am at my core. It's much easier for me to just chill out. No, I'm okay with where I am. I don't want to acknowledge the spirit man on the inside of me and what God spoke to me from the beginning, because if I do, it's going to make me uncomfortable. I'm going to have to relearn everything all over again. I'm going to be like a child. I'm going to be a 20-year-old man sitting in a kindergarten class, and they're going to be asking me, what's 2 plus 2? And I'm going to say 5. And they're going to be laughing. I saw a video where there was a blind man who put on some glasses that allowed him to see color for the first time. It was some 10-year-old little girls, and they had colored balloons. And they said, Grandpa, tell me how old he was. Grandpa, what color is this? And he's like, he's just smiling because he's just glad to see. He's like, I don't know what color it is. And they're like, it's purple. Oh, that's beautiful, girl. And he's like, Grandpa, what color is this? And they have red. He's like, I don't know, blue. And they're laughing like, no, Grandpa, this is not blue, this is red. He has no idea, right? And sometimes we get so comfortable with where we are, even though that's not where you're supposed to be.
Right.
That's not, you're called for more.
Yeah.
You are spirit. What you're experiencing right now is simply for the glory of God to be revealed in you. In you. Because if it's just revealed on the outside for everybody else to see and doesn't do anything in you, then you'll go back to your situation, you'll go back to being comfortable, you'll go back to the same and what it used to be and what it's always been. You'll go back to your job and just say, well, I'm good with how much I'm making right now, I don't really want to make more. I'm good with my position, so I don't really need a promotion. You know, my marriage is going pretty good. I'm not like so-and-so, and so maybe we don't really need to work on it. Right? You just be comfortable where you are, but it's not until you get frustrated with where you are, where you get to a point where you say, you know what? This will no longer work for me. I'm no longer okay with being okay. I'm no longer content with everything just going all right. I need more. And I know that I'm called to more. And you get frustrated sometimes because you know there's more.
Yep.
If you be honest with yourself, you probably get frustrated with yourself consistently because you know, I'm not living up to my potential. I'm not living up to my purpose. I really should be doing more. I am. If I start doing more, it's going to be more required of me. If I start doing more, the people will know I have it and they'll start pulling on me even more. There will be more responsibility. There will be a greater learning curve. There's going to be things that I'm going to have to figure out that I don't know, and so I'm going to look like an idiot in front of everybody because I've never been here before. But God is calling us deeper And the only way that we can go deeper is for us to connect with what God spoke to us when we were just spirit. And He gave us a manual. He gave us notes. He gave us something that we can consult, that we can go back to, that we can look through and say, okay, let me find myself in here. That's why I can't just read through scripture just to say that, just to mark off a checklist and just to say that I read something. I'm desperately looking, trying to find myself in the scripture. Where do I see myself in this blind man? I read this story before. Okay, let me go to another scripture. Oh no, let me go back to this, because maybe there's something more in here that I need to find. Maybe there's something in here that's a hint at my purpose. There's something in here that's a hint at what God created me to do. There's something in here that I need to find, that maybe something in here that just connects with something I've not been able to quite put my finger on, that I need just for me. It's not just passages talking about all these just old stories, you know, this stuff just sounds good, this stuff where preachers to preach about. No, you are in this scripture. You are in here being able to find yourself. You are spirit. And there's more to you than what you have become up to this point. There's more to you than what you've done. And you might be the person here, and you might be saying, well, Pastor, I actually feel like I've been doing pretty good. I actually feel like I've been doing all right. You know, make a decent amount of money. I have the things that I've been praying for. You know, I have my health, and, you know, I feel like things are going pretty well. You can become content in being good as well. Dig deeper. Go further. Right? Because your contentment is not tied up in what other people think about you.
Right.
It's not tied up in people patting you on your back. It's not about after this message is over, somebody saying, hey, Pastor, that was a great word. That was awesome. Did a great job. At the end of the day, I don't even need that. What I need to know is, God, did I give you what you require from me? Did I say what you spoke to me to say? Did I give my everything and everything that I was supposed to put out? I don't want to leave out of this building still full of what I was supposed to say. I want to empty out myself. And so even if this room full of people, even if y'all say, every single one of y'all come up and say, hey, that was awesome, that was great, you're doing a good job with the church, be encouraged, you're being a blessing, that would be great. But at the end of the day, when I get my private space with God, and God says, sir, no, that's not it. There's more. None of the rest of that stuff even mean anything to me. That's why some of y'all are probably waiting for somebody to pat you on the back and say, hey, great job. I just need a little bit of encouragement. I just need somebody to stay on me and somebody to push me. Ain't nothing going to change until you get that fire on the inside of you. Until something happens to you, you decide to turn that corner. Where you decide to say, man, you know what? I'm going for it. I don't care what nobody say. I don't care what nobody do. I don't care how early I got to wake up. How late I got to go to sleep. Who it affects, I am going for it 100%. Everybody else just get out of the way. Yeah. And if you ain't getting out of the way, then you come with me. I'll pull you if we need to. You are spirit. You are spirit. You are spirit. And throughout your entire life, God is trying to show you little hints and signs of what you were created to do and what you were created to accomplish in your life. And it's not until the Bible talks about deep calleth unto deep. The depth within God. God is spirit. The Spirit of God is crying out to our spirit, just like we read in Romans chapter 8. Creation is longing, eagerly waiting for the manifestation of the sons of God. Who are the sons of God? We are the sons of God. Creation is longing for us to take our rightful place, for us to take our position. There are finances and resources waiting for you to show up to claim them. Right? There are people that are waiting to support if you would just take your position. Romans chapter 8, I think in one of the other translations, it says that creation is waiting almost like a woman who is pregnant in pains of labor, but is not yet ready to deliver. Constantly growing, but not able to deliver. Can you imagine, women, I'm not going to try to act like I can't imagine. But if you can try to imagine a woman pregnant, 9 months, it's time to deliver, now you're having pains, now you're in labor, but not able to push the child out. Creation, what God created for us to do, is longing for the manifestation, for us to take our rightful place and say, okay, God, I'm ready to do it. Okay, God, I'm ready to make it happen. Okay, God, I'm ready to say yes today. All right, God, you have me. Whatever you want to do, I'm ready to do it. And then that thing can be delivered. And then that thing can be released. And then he can release his resources, his provisions. But not until then. Let me say I surrender. I'll say this last thing and then we'll finish up right here. Some of y'all might have a challenge surrendering because you think, well, I know I have some challenges. I know I might mess up tomorrow or I might fail or I just don't know how this thing is going to go. So God, I don't want to give you my word today. And then 2 weeks later, then I have to renege on it because this thing didn't quite go all the way I wanted it to. Let me let you know something that helped me out. Surrender is not necessarily I surrendered today and now I'm surrendered for the rest of my life situation. Surrender is a daily decision. Surrender is every single day waking up and say, all right, God, what you want to do today? You want me to do what? Okay, God, I'll do it. But you're going to have to help me. Surrender is daily. Surrender is, okay, God, I messed that thing up yesterday, but I'm not going to allow you to mess up my future. Let me get this thing right today. Surrender is, okay, God, I am giving it my very best. I depleted myself. I exhausted myself, giving it everything I had. Go to sleep. Get some rest. Don't worry about tomorrow. Wake up tomorrow and say, all right, God, I'm going to give you everything I have. Wear yourself out. You're depleted. Go to sleep. Get some rest. Tomorrow, don't worry about itself. Wake up in the morning and say, all right, God, today I give you everything I have.
Every day.
It is a daily decision to say, God, you got me. And whatever it is that you had in mind before you formed me in my mother's womb, I want to fulfill that. I gave you an example about a glass and a plastic cup. For a long time in my life, I thought I was supposed to be glass. Looking at other people just like, God, this is a real story. Looking at other people like, all right, God, but I'm not as polished as so-and-so. My shell is not as hard as this other person. I'm a little bit more sensitive. God, I don't know if I can hold hot water that well. I don't know if I can be trusted with information like that. I'm not really built the same way. And comparing myself to other people and making excuses about why I couldn't be who I wanted to be. And so I was praying one day and God was telling me, yeah, I made you Tupperware. And I'm like, wait, like that's it? Like plastic is cheap. Like what's plastic? You come over to somebody's house for fine dining and they pull out plastic and you're like, well, like, this is what we doing? Like I thought we were on another level. Right? I'm plastic. God, what you mean? Definitely go ahead and explain this one because I thought I was definitely worth much more than that. And what he showed me was, for glassware, you ain't packing up in no bags. You keeping them right at home in that nice fancy shelf, collecting dust, and you kind of clean them off whenever you want to impress people when they come around. And God is like, I ain't trying to use you to impress nobody. I'm trying to take you to the nations. I need to throw you in a backpack and take you out into some third world countries that ain't never heard of gospel before. Whoa, you want to do what? Yeah, I'm plastic. Like I was ready after that. I was like, yeah, I'll take it. And that's literally what started happening. This was before my first trip to a third world country. This was before any of that stuff started happening. God showed me that. So of course, when the opportunity came for me to do international missions, I'm like, that's what God created me for. Yeah. I didn't miss the opportunity because I already knew that was my purpose. And sometimes we're missing opportunities because we don't know that this is what we were created for. Jesus would be passing by and would be like, nah, Jesus, I don't need it. And he's like, no, you definitely do. You don't know how much you need this. And we're complaining about our situation. And he's like, but I'm trying to change it, but you don't want it. But once you recognize your purpose, then you'll be able to acknowledge opportunities that are presenting themselves. And now I'm able to go to some of these other third world countries and preach the gospel and minister to people, and their faces don't faze me. Their stench doesn't faze me. Having to bathe with bottled water doesn't faze me. Having to eat food that I normally wouldn't eat, but when in Rome, It doesn't faze me because this is what I have been called to do.
Wow.
This is my purpose. This is what I was created for. A 9-hour flight, a 3-hour layover, and then another 6-hour flight doesn't faze me. This is what I was created for. But once you find out your purpose and what you were created for, I promise you, you won't be as frustrated when challenges come.
Yeah.
I know I told you I was the last thing, but I sound like a preacher now. Let me down. I was saying that what did Jesus use to put on his eyes?
Clay.
Yeah. Genesis chapter 1 and chapter 2, when God formed man, he used same thing. Used the same thing. Jesus used the very essence of who this man was to cure him of what he'd been challenged with his whole life. Y'all follow me on this, because I already know this today. We were made from dirt. We were made from clay. It says that there wasn't rain or dew on the earth, so God allowed it to rain. And right after that verse, then he said, then God formed man. So it's clearly mud, right? Same thing. He used the very essence of what man was created with. And he said, I'm going to use this same thing to cure you because this is a part of you anyway. Right? This is part of who you are. But God, if you could just move this challenge out of the way, no, this is who you are. God, but if you could just ease it just a little bit, no, this is part of you. I am using this to produce something in you. I can't remove it because if I remove it, then the bleeding will continue. I'm trying to blood you. Right? This is who you are. And if I can't use this challenge to bring out the best in you, you'll continue to be content for the rest of your life. This is part of your makeup. This is what you came from. I'm trying to give you hints at what your purpose was. This clay that I'm putting over your eyes, this is you. This is you at the core. And so while you're sitting back saying, ew, why would you want to do that? No, this is you. This is you. This is who you are. Yeah, God, I'm sorry. I made a mistake. It's uncharacteristic. That's not even like me. No, that's you. That's you. That's what was in there. But let me take that mistake. Let me take that failure. Let me take where you messed up and let me create a testimony from it. Because people need to hear how you failed. So now I don't have to trip over that same thing that got you. Right? So what I'm trying to produce in you, that's who you are. That's who you are. I didn't say that you're a title. I didn't say that you are what people are calling you. Right? I'm saying that what you experienced in your life was for a reason. I'm not saying that God forced this thing on you. When you're saying that you're saying that God created somebody to come rape me on purpose. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that whatever it is that happened, God would sometimes allow in order for His glory to be revealed in you. Hold on, Pastor. That just doesn't make sense. So that God would allow evil. We're born into sin, shaped in iniquity. We're susceptible to any and everything, right? Once man starts acting a fool and doing whatever he wanted to do, then we're subject to all of this. But in it, God is saying, I'm still good, so I can still use what looks like an evil situation, turn it around and flip it, and now use it for my glory. So now when this man goes back to his family, they say, yeah, I know that this is our son. They didn't say, oh man, that's amazing, he was healed. They didn't say none of that. They didn't say, hey, all praise to God, glory to God. We know that our son, they didn't say none of that. They said, yeah, we know this is our son, but I don't know how he was healed. Y'all handle them because we don't want to get in trouble with the church people. So y'all handle him however. So we just not going to acknowledge that God just did this thing? Looking for family to pat you up on the back to make you feel good about the decision that you're making? Looking for all your friends and your buddies to say, hey, great job, good, go for it. Nope. Because they don't know your history, they don't know your past, they don't know what you've been through. As cool as you probably think you are with your family, with your friends, with your bestie, with your spouse, they don't know your whole story. And some stuff you're trying to explain and you can't even put words to it just because you weren't there when I experienced it.
Yeah.
But this is who I am. And as a result of what God has allowed in my life, I want to allow His glory to be revealed, not just in me, but I want it to spill out of me so that the world knows that God is still good.
Thank you for subscribing to our YouTube page. We are Flowing Life with Pastor Ty and Lady Karen. If you are local, you can join us in Charlotte, North Carolina, 2609 Central Avenue. If you're not local, you can stay on our page, and also you can be a blessing to our ministry and yourself by donating on flowinglife.org.